Hi everyone, this is Mindy Eggen and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how I created what I am calling faux mixed media. Now, a mixed media card really means when you're taking two or more different types of mediums and combining it onto a card project. And when I say mediums, I am meaning ink or paint, maybe some pastes. Now, I am really only including splatter and ink. So that is why I'm considering this a faux mixed media because I'm not really combining a lot of different mediums. So let me show you how easy it was to create this faux mixed media look. The set that I'm going to be using today is the Beautiful Flowers stamp set. Now, the stamp set itself is an oldie but a goodie. But what's new about this are these coordinating stencils. So, if you are not real good or you're not comfortable, I should say, with coloring these with watercolors or Copic markers or any type of alcohol marker, you can now pick up the coordinating stencil to color them in. Now, there is a lot of detailed lines in here. And when I am doing ink blending, I am going to my favorite technique, which is stamping this in a light color of ink first. The reason I'm doing that is when I go to ink blend, I don't want to risk smearing my ink. Black tends to do that. So when I start with a light color like this latte, I am not going to get a lot of color contamination. I really wanted to stay true to the color that I'm using for the ink blending. So I am stamping that huge floral swag plus the three individual flowers because I plan on layering those flowers on top of the swag once I die cut everything out. Now, a key thing here is leave your stamps in place. Do not move them because we will be stamping back over the top of them. I'm going to be bringing out this 9 by 12 sticky mat from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to place my large piece of cardstock. I think that was cut to like maybe around 6 by 8.5, so it fit all of the flowers. Placing the cardstock onto my sticky mat. And then I'm going to bring in my stencil, start lining it up to doing my ink blending. Now, with this floral swag, you can see it's kind of deceiving. It almost looks like all the leaves would line up at once, but they do not. So you do have to be careful of that. I am also going to be using some post-it tape, or you can use post-it notes to help protect the surrounding areas and also just help give that a little extra stick because you can see that the cardstock is a little bit bigger than the stencil. So there's not a lot of grip coming from the mat to hold my stencil in place. Now, for my ink blending, I am using a mix of blending brushes for this. I started with a light color. I always consider this my light wash of color. I am using Sprout to do that, and then I'm going to come in with Field ink. So this is part of a trio. I will have all of those trios from Simon Says Stamp down below in the video description if you're interested in them. I'm actually skipping the middle color in each of the trios. I'm starting with the lightest color and then I'll be jumping to the darkest color. Now, when I am adding that darkest color, I am using a smaller blending brush to help really control the ink that I'm placing down. Again, I am masking off the areas surrounding my leaves so I don't get a little overzealous with my ink blending and I keep it all contained to the areas that I want. So I again am using the post-it tape or post-it notes, whatever you want to use to mask off your areas, and just shifting my stencil each time. Do be a little careful if you're reusing your post-it tape, don't reuse it if it's covering up an area that is already covered with ink because that can transfer ink to your card project. Trust me, you don't want to transfer ink. Now, here I was trying to get a little creative with my masking to really kind of get each leaf with a darker shade or my shadow area. There were a couple times that I ended up leaving a harsh line from the line of the Post-it tape, but once I removed it, kind of helped smooth it out with my blending brush. It works out great because the inks are going to dry back a little bit. So it ended up blending together very nicely. Be sure to clean your stencil so that when you are shifting it over to color in the flowers, again, you're not transferring any ink, especially if you're using dark greens like I did. Now, for the flowers, I'm really going to pick one side of the flower to apply the most amount of ink. So I'm being a little heavier handed on one side and then having the ink fade off into white as it gets towards the other side of the flower. Now, each of these flowers is going to be ink blended with shell ink. It's kind of one of my new favorites from the Simon Says stamp collection. It's a beautiful trio of coral colors, but I really am just using shell. I felt that gave me a very nice, soft, airy feeling to it. The other ones get pretty intense, and I wanted to stay away from intensity. I wanted this to be more on the vintage side of things. So, again, just shifting your stencil and lining it up to fit that corresponding flower. All of those areas that I just ink blended were all on one stencil. So this is a two-piece stencil. The second layer of the stencil is going to bring in some more leaves that are in the background, some buds. So for that, I am going to go a little heavier handed just to give this some color variation. I didn't want everything to completely look the same. I wanted some areas lighter and darker because, of course, things that are in the back are going to be a little bit darker. Now, there is one flower bud or rosebud down at the bottom, so I made sure to ink blend that because that is going to be sticking out, whereas the other ones will be die cut and layered over the top. Now, I brought this back over to my Misty, made sure it was lined up just as it was before, tucked into that bottom left-hand corner, and then I am inking the images up again, and I'm using latte ink. Typically, when I do this, I come back with black, but I wanted to try using more of that brown for that vintage look and even almost a no line coloring look. But I did step it up to bring in cappuccino to see how that looked. And I really enjoyed that shade of that brown that is a shade darker. Now, once everything is stamped out, I did line up the coordinating dies, held them in place with some adorable washi tape, and then ran these through my die cut machine. So this swag actually would look beautiful as it is, where it's kind of white, but I really did want to layer my flowers. So on the two flowers that are going to be kind of tucked underneath a little bit, I added some thin white foam squares. They're kind of a go-to white foam square for me because they're just the perfect thin thickness. So I did that for both of those flowers on the top and bottom. The one in the middle, I'm using the regular thickness. Place those foam squares on the actual swag so that way I know exactly where they need to go. And then placing that last flower over the top. So it's going to be popped up just a little bit taller than the other two flowers. Here is where we're going to get that faux mixed media look. This is a stamp set called A Little Artsy, and it's got some amazing whimsical images on there, plus these designs that give you that mixed media look. And it has a lot of, I guess, Tim Holtz vibes to it with a touch of whimsy. I stamped those in the two corners there using my latte ink, and then I'm going to come around the edges and ink blend the edges with the latte ink as well. So that's going to give me that vintage kind of rustic look without it being, what do I want to say, too rustic. I'm also going to go around those edges with seafoam ink. So I'm trying to give this like a patina type of look. And I'm using one of the brand new blending brushes from Simon Says Stamp. These are really great for a soft up application of color. So I am really loving these. I ordered a bunch more. I'm excited to get these added to my collection. I am loving how this is looking right now. That ink blending, even just as soft as it is, really added a lot to this. It took away the stark white of the background. I did add another stamp. I completely forgot about this when I was adding my flower afterwards, but there are some other images you can come back in and stamp onto your background if you want. I brought that panel over to my splat box and I am going to add splatters of this gold. I forgot the exact name, but it's like a gold paint and a black paint. They're from Simon Says Stamp. All you need to do is shake them up and splatter. It's ready to go. You don't need to add any water. So that is where you could consider this a mixed media card because I do have inks and then I have the splatter, but splatter to me is just kind of a normal thing. So I don't really consider that my mixed media project, but it does add a little bit of interest to the background. Now, the sentiment that I'm going to be using today is from the Wild and Free Flowers stamp set. I stamped it in black ink, which is why I added the black splatter. I thought that would tie in nicely with my black stamped sentiment that I knew I was going to be doing. I die cut it out with the coordinating die. I also die cut it out one more time and adhered those two together. That just always provides stability for me. I do still add foam squares to the back of it, but I just love having that extra layer of cardstock behind it. I also did that for my large floral swag as well. I'm going to pop up my floral swag onto the front of my card project again using these thin foam squares. I buy heaps of them at a time because I just love that thickness. So I'm adding this to the front of my card project. And as I mentioned, I completely forgot about that extra stamped image that I had at the top. You can see it peeking out just a little bit, which I still think is really nice. It's kind of subtle. It's not really in your face. And then I finished with adding the sentiment up at the top and then a few dewdrops around my image and also in the center of that main flower. I really let the stamp sets do the work here. I do not feel like I did a mixed media project mainly because I just ink blended and I stamped. I didn't have a lot of messy things going on other than the splatter, which was contained in the splat box. But that is why I'm considering this a faux mixed media project. It's super easy. Either you have these stamp sets, or maybe you have something similar that you can stamp in your background in that lighter color. That's, I think, what really kind of does the trick is it's stamped in such a light color. It's not standing out and taking away from our focal point. I hope you give something like this a try, whether it's an actual mixed media project using stencils and paste and ink, or maybe you have some stamped images where you can do your own faux mixed media card. I will have all of my supplies linked down below in the video description and over on my blog. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon in the next crafting tutorial.